Shalom, shalom. Uh, it's another installment, just coming out with some scriptures. First, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well, and salutations to the elect, the brothers that's pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the globe. Just coming with some scriptures right now, concerning the end times and, Lord willing, this be edifying. This is Matthew 24, and I'm going to take it from the top, and it reads, And Yahweh Shah went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. That's concerning, the days of Jerusalem, the siege of Jerusalem, and they was like in the showing what's going on. And verse 2, Yahweh Shah said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. There shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Right, so that place was going. That place was in turmoil. They was going through it, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him and privately saying, Tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Yeah, so they was like wondering what's going on, and trying to see like Yahweh Shai, can you tell us what's going on, and some of the signs? Can you show us some of the signs of the things that's taking place, that shall take place before the coming of the end of the world? And a quick precept to speak about them asking that, and how the Lord was going to respond, how Yahweh Shah was responding, similar to this chapter right here, Second Esdras, in chapter 2. It reads, chapter 9. Forgive me. Verse 1, and it reads, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before. So one of the Second Esdras is speaking similar to how the Lord was receiving what they had asked him. When the Lord would say, when they asked him, what is going to be, tell us what shall be the sign of thy coming, and pretty much reading on, it says, And Yahweh Shah answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. So when you bringing out Second Esdras, it's like, when you measure the time, you got to be on point, making sure, you understand what's going on. You can't be deceived. That's why Yahweh Shah said, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall be deceived. So, you got a lot of false prophets out there, false teachers, And the Lord was like, hey, you better be aware and measure the time, pretty much. Not to just sit back and take anybody, whatever anybody say, and just believe it, you know. And reading on, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. The end is not yet, you know. So, hearing of wars and rumors of wars is what we're dealing with right now, you know. But, don't be troubled within it, even though you hear that stuff, because a lot of people are quick to say, oh, this is the end, and don't even realize that it's a prolonged issue that we've been dealing with since, ancient times all the way until now. It's always been wars, but no one actually knows when the day of the Lord comes. So he said, be troubled, But a quick precept, in Romans. Quick precept in Romans is in Romans 8:14 down to 17. For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yahweh, they are the sons of Yahweh. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. All right? So be troubled is the reason why I'm bringing this out. Verse 16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh. And if children, then heirs, heirs of Yahweh, and joint heirs with Yahweh Shah, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. All right? So the Lord is saying, be not troubled, by the signs of when you hear wars and rumors of wars, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet, So he is clearly letting you know that just because you hear things, it's not actually the very end, Lord willing, we close though. All right. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Right. So, all these other people, they gonna be ready. They ready to get you up, man. Like if you check out how they treating people of color, the so-called Nigerians in Ukraine, they acting like they the last to get on the train. They not letting them on the train. And it's not because they Nigerian, it's just because they could possibly be Jake. It's just because you are of the so-called black race, we know that it ain't no black race, but a dark person, somebody that could be, Israelite foreigners, so that's a clear example of how they gonna deliver you up to be afflicted. Like you gonna be the last to leave here when shit all hell breaking loose over here. There's no evacuation for y'all pretty much. And these is all the nations that's doing that. All right, reading on. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Yeah, you got the pastors that want to claim to be prophets and ministers, You even got the female churchgoers that consider themselves prophetess. And they talk in tongue and do all this stuff. But many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound and the love of many shall wax cold. You know, today's time is like people could watch a crime being committed and just look at it like, if anything, pull out their phone and laugh about it and, you know, pretty much like record it and don't really respond to it. Like they have no love for each other, you know. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved, you know. Especially in these hard times, it's hard to, these last days, man, it's hard to endure, man. You know, that's why, you know, we give salutations to the elect, man, throughout every prayer and throughout any time we, you know, greet each other, because, hey, at the end of the day, man, those are the ones who's going to see fit, to be seen fit to do so, you know. The first fruits, all right? Going into James, a quick precept about that, you know, there's a reward for that, man, you know. This is the reward for those who shall endure. We'll read it again. It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right? And going into that, in James, you got James chapter 1, verse 12. It says, excuse me, it's a lot. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. That word promise, man, and the crown of life, that's the reward, man. You promise something for enduring, you know. So this is why, you know, I love this chapter, because it's like it helps, you know, build strength and character in the brothers that strive and enduring, you know. Reading on, and it says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. So this gospel that's being spoken of in this verse is the true gospel, the word of the Bible, the truth, and how we present it, and how we teach it to our brothers and sisters, and how we bring it to the world. That's the gospel. This is, and it's only of the scriptures, the Holy Bible, you know. Because other people come in the name of the Bible, but they send out different gospels, you know. They come with the wrong doctrine or the wrong teachings of this Bible, all right? And that's what's being mentioned in this gospel, meaning when it's being read by true men of the Lord, they speaking of the true teachings of the Bible, okay? And then shall the end come. Verse 15, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, all right, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand. And in desolation, the abomination of desolation spoken of is in Daniel's, and that was the siege of Jerusalem, man. That was the destruction of Jerusalem. So there's like a time frame that's being mentioned right now in these few verses that's speaking of ancient times, you know. So, you know, don't get it confused. back then our people were being persecuted, and to this day we still being persecuted. But these are mentioning of ancient times approaching. I mean, coming up in these few verses. But like I said, like the scriptures read, it says, "Whoso readeth, let him understand." Don't get confused, because sometimes, when speaking in chapters, you might hear a few verses that's going back into ancient events that took place. Okay, so let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the house on top, not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. All right. So this is time of during that siege of Jerusalem. They were in flight. It was the time of great trials and tribulations of Israel. Okay. So they mentioning the things that was to take place during that time, And neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. And that was the fleeing out of that place during that time. But when we flee out of this place in Jacob's trouble of today, there's no haste, because during the time of us being saved, we'll be getting beamed up. The true salvation of today's time is going to be miraculous like none other. It's not going to be like, how it was in ancient times. All right. And verse 20 says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulations, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor ever shall be." All right. So the time that we dealing with, and you can't escape no damn missile. So the point being made is, this tribulation of today's time is going to be like none other of any time during ancient times or any previous situations where Israel was under this scrutiny or under the gun, so to speak. And it's also mentioning that day like none other or none ever shall have been in Jeremiah 30. I believe it's 30 and 7. Where it reads, "Alas, this is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Right. So the way that the devastation of that time, the only way you can be saved is through the Lord, having mercy on you and lifting you up out of that current situation. All right. And reading on, it says, "Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Yahushua, here is Mashiach, Christ, or believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Right. So it's at that point in time where the things that you see and hear, they so cunning with it, with the trickery, you know, and the wordplay that, they deceive so many people, you know, that if it was possible, they could even deceive the elect. But it's not possible because, the Lord revealed his secrets onto his prophets, man. And it's just certain things that, you can't get it past us, like, Lord willing, I'll be one of those men that, you're just not going to be able to deceive me. Like, things that you see people do with their works. These churches got the healing segment where they bring a fake cripple and then they lay hands on them and now they walk again or something, or they see again. We know that that's a game. We know that ain't real. That's a whole routine. All right. Reading on, behold, I have told you before, wherefore, if there shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. Right. Because they have you thinking that, your salvation is in a bunker. All right. Underground. That's not your salvation. Believe it not. Verse 27, for as the lightning cometh out the east, shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. All right. Lightning meaning swiftly, Verse 28, for wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Right. That would be the multitudes of people devoured in the devastation of, nuclear holocaust, man. Eagles being like scavengers also, man, like the vultures and everything. And it's ironic, not ironic, but it's very clever that the Lord used the word eagles in that verse, because where's the eagles at? Where's the eagle represented? With Esau. Like through Rome, and of today's time, like through the bald eagle of today. All right, so that'll be a multitude of the dead during that time of, devastation and all of that. And immediately after the tribulation, verse 29, immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. All right. And that's devastation too. That's nuclear holocaust too, man. When the sun is darkened, all right. And that time is like the time, and stars represent, people, falling from power. All right. And then appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and that's verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. All right. And that's when, Yahweh Shah gonna crack them clouds and show his glory, Quick precept right there is Revelations 1 and 7, where it reads, Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen. That's right. So there's going to be a lot of shamefaced people during that time. Those going to be the people who know that they did him wrong, didn't worship him, hated him, hated his people, Reading on. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. All right? And that great sound, man, that's them chariots, man. You seen that in the movie War of the Worlds. The sound that it made, it was like a great trumpet when they came out. When they appeared, Quick precept onto that. There's Jeremiah 16, verse 14, where it reads, Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, The Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. All right? People ain't going to acknowledge it. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. That's right. That's what the chariots is for, man. When they beam us up, man, they gonna gather us and take us back to our land. The holy land of Israel. All right. Now learn a parable. This is verse 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree when his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves. Ye know that summer is nigh. All right. That's a riddle right there. Like, all right, when he put forth leaves and when the tree is flourishing, that means the summer is near. Just like when you see these signs that let you know that the end is near. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Right, like I was saying, with all these signs and all the things that's taking place in this world, this may be the time. But like I said, generations don't just mean you live throughout your time and then there's another generation, because children is born in your generation too. But that don't mean that y'all the same generation, It's a time frame that's being spoken of. This time frame shall not pass before these things are fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. And what is the word? There's these scriptures right here. And the Lord's spirit, The Lord's spirit is on these words here. And the Lord is not going to change. And the Lord has not changed. From the beginning of time till now. A quick precept to back that up. It's in Hebrews. Get that real quick. Hebrews 13. I believe it's 13:7, 13:8. Hebrews 13:8 reads, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, the same yesterday and today and forever. See? So his spirit is not going to change. All right? And nor has it ever changed. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Right? So Yahweh is the only one that knows when that actual day of the Lord's coming is going to be. So any man prophesying saying that they know the exact date, or they know the day of his coming is a damn lie. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Right. So this verse is speaking of how, the ignorance of people are, just having a good old time during the time of preparations and trying to get right with the Lord to be saved. People just like, oh, I'm gonna just sit around to that very day. That's not how you do things. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? You don't want to be bullshitting around when the Son, when Yahweh Shah come back. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Verse 41. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Right? This is the parable. This is like a